If the US stablecoin bill passes, it won't just stabilize crypto, it'll rewrite the rules of the entire game. Winners will soar, losers will vanish, and most won't see it coming. This is bigger than hype. This is the future unfolding. My name is Artificial Alina and you are watching Alina X. Let's dive deep. There's a storm brewing in the world of crypto, and it doesn't look like a typical price pump or a scandalous rug pull. This time it's coming from Washington. Tucked away in the corridors of power is a proposed piece of legislation that could flip the entire market on its head. It's called the Genius Act, and while it hasn't officially passed yet, it's gathering momentum, fast. The name might sound like something out of a Marvel movie, but make no mistake, this bill isn't fiction. It's real, it's bipartisan, and it's got teeth. So, what exactly is at stake? Everything. If this bill passes, the stablecoin sector, the very backbone of the crypto ecosystem, will undergo a transformation so deep it could change the way digital assets are traded, stored, and even perceived. But here's the twist. While some coins and projects will skyrocket under the new rules, others might simply disappear. To understand why, we need to look at what the Genius Act is proposing. At its core, it introduces a sense of trust to a space that's been lacking it. Let's be honest, crypto has earned its Wild West reputation for a reason. Hacks, frauds, shady stablecoins backed by little more than smoke and mirrors. It's all been part of the ride. But this bill aims to bring order to the chaos. It wants stablecoins to be backed 1.1 by actual reserves, verified by monthly audits, with real, transparent redemption processes. In other words, if you're going to issue a stablecoin, you better be able to prove that every token is worth exactly what you say it is. Now, why does that matter so much? Because stablecoins aren't just coins, they're infrastructure. They're not the buildings in the city of crypto, they're the plumbing. They're the invisible systems that allow traders to move quickly, safely, and efficiently from one asset to another. Whether you're buying Bitcoin, flipping altcoins, or moving funds between exchanges, chances are you're using a stablecoin somewhere along the way. If those coins are shaky, the whole system is shaky. But if those coins are rock solid, everything becomes smoother. That's why this bill could be a game changer. Let's break it down further. Imagine a future where stablecoins are regulated like real financial products. Think about what that would do to market confidence. Suddenly, investors know their funds are backed. They know the risks are lower. They know they're not dealing with fly-by-night projects that disappear when the market turns. That kind of certainty invites more capital. And where does that capital go? Into the rest of the market, into altcoins, into new projects, into innovation. So does this mean prices will go up? Not automatically, but what it does mean is that the market becomes more attractive to serious players. That includes banks, hedge funds, institutional investors, the kind of people who usually stay away from crypto because it's too risky or too unregulated. When they see clear rules, they lean in. And when they lean in, liquidity floods the system. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. XRP. XRP isn't a stablecoin. It's not backed 1.1 with dollars. So why would XRP benefit from this bill? Because XRP's biggest value isn't just as a digital asset, it's as a tool for cross-border payments. And in that world, liquidity is king. The more stable and reliable the stablecoin infrastructure becomes, the more XRP's use case shines. You need a trusted medium to move money fast and friction-free across borders. Stablecoins and XRP are like gears in the same machine. If one runs smoother, the whole engine works better. But hold on, it's not all good news. This bill could also be a death sentence for certain kinds of innovation, particularly in the area of algorithmic stablecoins. These are coins that use complex code instead of traditional reserves to try and maintain a peg to a fiat currency like the US dollar. Think Terra USD, yes, the same one that collapsed spectacularly in 2022. Under the Genius Act, those kinds of coins could be banned outright. The legislation doesn't just aim to clean up, It aims to standardize. That means smaller, experimental players could get pushed out. Regulatory compliance isn't cheap. Legal teams, audits, reserve verification, these are serious barriers to entry. Does that mean innovation will die? Not quite. What it means is that innovation will evolve. It'll have to play by new rules. Some ideas will fade out, but others will adapt. That's the nature of every maturing industry. Remember the internet in the 90s? At first, it was chaotic, full of scams, pop-ups, and companies that disappeared overnight. But then regulations started rolling in. And what happened? The web didn't die. It flourished. The same thing could happen to crypto. Regulation isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's the launchpad. And here's another angle that's not being talked about enough. Global impact. If the US is the first major power to lay down a comprehensive, enforceable framework for stablecoins, the rest of the world won't be far behind. That's how leadership works. Countries like the UK, Japan, Singapore, they're already watching. And once the US moves, it sets a precedent. Other regulators follow. This creates a domino effect of adoption and clarity. The whole space becomes more mature, more respected, and more integrated into the mainstream financial system. Suddenly, crypto isn't just a fringe investment. It's part of the global financial conversation. But strangely, that's not where everyone's focus is right now. People are too busy watching meme coins pump 1,000% in a week. They're distracted by ETFs and celebrity shillings. Everyone's talking about the next big thing in DeFi or gaming tokens. But here's the truth. This bill might be the real story. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it's foundational. It could be the moment crypto finally sheds its Wild West image and becomes something more stable, more secure, more permanent. So why isn't everyone talking about it? Because regulation isn't sexy. It doesn't come with rocket emojis or overnight millionaires. But if you really care about where this industry is headed, long term, you need to pay attention. The Genius Act is the kind of bill that creates new winners and quietly eliminates losers. It doesn't care about hype, it cares about structure. And here's where things get really spicy. Let's say this bill passes. What happens next? Well, the moment it's signed into law, stablecoin projects across the country will have to scramble to comply. Some will make it, others will fold, but more importantly, a signal will be sent across the world. The US is open for regulated crypto business. That's the moment the institutional floodgates start to open. It won't happen overnight, but over months, over quarters, the change will be visible. Bigger players enter, better platforms get built, trust goes up, volatility goes down, and amid all that, tokens like XRP, ETH, and even Bitcoin will operate in a more fluid, more credible market. Meanwhile, retail investors who pay attention early will already be in position. This is the moment to get informed, not distracted. You don't need to jump into every new token or play every hype cycle, but you do need to understand that regulation, especially this kind, is a market signal. It separates real projects from vaporware. It's the litmus test for who can last and who can't. And that brings us to the final point. Crypto is growing up. Slowly but surely. The Genius Act is part of that growth. It's a sign that the US government is no longer ignoring the space. They're engaging with it. They're trying to shape it. That might scare some people, but for long-term believers, it's a reason to get excited. Because when the rules are clear, the real builders stay. The tourists leave, and the infrastructure finally becomes real. So don't sleep on this bill. Don't let the noise distract you from what could be the most important shift happening right now. If it passes, it won't just stabilize crypto. It will redefine it. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this breakdown as eye-opening as I did, smash that thumbs up right now. Don't miss out on our exclusive, never-before-seen insights. Subscribe immediately to join our inner circle at Alina X and stay ahead with every breaking update. I want to hear your thoughts, questions, and theories. So drop a comment below. Every single one will be read and replied to. Act fast, be part of this revolution, and let's redefine the future together.